Now check out this short demo I want you to see. On the left hand side I have GitHub Spark that I have access to, and on the right hand side I have GitHub Copilot Workspace that I also got access to. Now I asked both of these tools to create a web application that uses certain packages and allows me to get some visualization of a web app I want to create. Meaning, if I want to create some online shopping store or online courses selling store or any landing page or sign up page or whatever, then I expect any of these tools to create the structure and the architecture that will allow me to get the technical stack in which I could use and then develop the web application afterwards. So actually Spark by GitHub created this web app I can use. And when I write some kind of idea of what I want to sell, let's say smartphones, and I click on generate text stack, then you can see that it says generating, and in a few seconds I'll get, there you go, I get a generated text stack and architecture, for a web app, and I got the text stack. Front end is Next.js, server side rendering, blah blah blah. I have the CSS by Tailwind. I have the backend by Supabase and PostgreSQL and Next.js API routes and blah blah blah. I have all this, and then here below I have the diagram, the flow chart. Now, if let's make the page wider just a bit. When you have the flow chart, and you can see the user device is a smartphone, and then it goes through HTTP request to the user interface that goes to the API routes and authentication using Supabase, but you have this nice diagram. So this was created by GitHub Spark, and it uses actually an internal LLM used by Spark. Now this is GitHub Spark, but on the right hand side, as I mentioned, we have GitHub Copilot Workspaces. And we can brainstorm with the LLM of GitHub Workspaces, and we can brainstorm and then get some high-level plan and the breakdown, or we can click on generate code as I already explained. And now what happened is that the Copilot actually modified 11 files. It created a new repository and added the content to it with a text stack and everything, and you can see the package.json, the Tailwind CSS, the app.js, index.js. This is a Next.js application. You have the different components with the links. So look how cool this thing is. So we have one option to create the web application using Spark Online, or we can use the Copilot Workspace to create the code inside the repository. Now, if I'll click on generate repository, I already have the repository name filled in for me, and as to the commit message, I can just click generate description, and once I click, I'll get automatically filled in the description of the repository and the files added. I will click on create repository, and within a second, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, I got this link to open GitHub, and inside we see that everything got posted. Look how cool this thing is. If you'll go to Houdini, which is my username, github.com/Houdini, to YUV.AI architect, then you'll have this code and you have the instructions. Web application that helps user design and develop web application by providing detailed text stack recommendations. And you can just clone, install, run dev, and you should be able to insert your LLM API key. As you saw, I did not modify a thing in here yet, but this is very, very cool. And this is the difference between the GitHub Copilot Workspaces and the GitHub Spark. I hope you enjoyed this video and got value from my video, and feel free to keep following for further great content.